So if you remember my review for How the Grinch Stole Christmas starring Jim Carrey, I pretty clearly expressed that I am just kind of indifferent about that movie. So today, I'm going to be talking about the animated short of How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 1968? 1969. It's one of the two. It doesn't really matter. The basic premise of this short is it's essentially a Christmas Carol, but Dr. Seuss's version of A Christmas Carol, because the main character, Grinch, is essentially Ebenezer Scrooge. I'm not saying that as a negative thing, I'm just saying that's clearly the inspiration for the Grinch, because he hates Christmas just as Ebenezer Scrooge hates Christmas, and he just wants Christmas to end, so he comes up with a plan to end Christmas for everyone in Whoville. He dresses up as Santa and then takes all the presents away and just tries to make Christmas miserable for everyone. But he finds out in the end that presents don't really matter to the people in Whoville. It's like their families, their friends, and that's what makes Christmas special for them. I feel like it is worth mentioning that this movie is narrated by Boris Karloff, and the voice of the Grinch is also Boris Karloff, and he definitely makes this short way better than it needs to be, because Boris Karloff being the voice of the Grinch, that's like the best choice I've ever heard. Like, whoever came up with that should get an award or something. So this short works a lot better as an animation than it would have live action, because like the level of facial expressions that they get out of the Grinch is pretty insane, and you probably wouldn't be able to do that in live action, or you probably wouldn't get like the same result rather. And there's just like a lot of, like, how do I put this, cartoony things that happen in this movie that you wouldn't really be able to do in live action because it wouldn't look as good or wouldn't look as believable. But in this movie, it doesn't have to be believable because, well, it's animated, so you have much more leeway and much more, like, excuse to do that. Something else I really like about this short is it really feels like the book coming to life, and I feel that Dr. Seuss was probably very happy with this adaptation because, to my knowledge, it's pretty accurate. In my opinion, this is probably the best Christmas short ever made. And I know some people may be like, wait a minute, what about Frosty the Snowman? Or what about Rudolph? Don't worry, we'll get to those. So, my final grade for this short is, not so surprisingly, an A+.